Thank you for stopping by Digesting the Soul. I always try to exhaust natural remedies to any ailments I might be experiencing and then use pharmaceuticals as a last resort. And when it comes to sleep medication, you probably noticed a lot of headline news in the last few years about the adverse side effects that it can have, specifically Ambien. And the most common is that people are taking actions in which they have no recollection. And I came across our riveting website. I highly recommend. It's called 44 Ambien Stories, in which people actually share their experiences and what happened under the influence of this drug. And I even found a second website in which someone is compiling all of the crimes that have been committed while on this medication as well. And often they're very violent. So if you're like me and you're definitely risk adverse to side effects and you don't want any trouble with the law, then stay tuned and I'm going to share with you my experience trying to use Bach flower remedies for improved sleep and less stress.
My mind says stop, but my heart is screaming out. Don't go, just leave, no stay with me. I'm incomplete. I got mixed emotions, can't make my mind up. Just leave, no stay with me. I'm incomplete. I got mixed emotions, can't make my mind up.
So you may have seen another video that I posted on CBD oil and improved sleep. And I've actually used the Bach sleep remedies prior to the CBD oil, but I made the CBD oil video first because I had such positive results and I just wanted to get the information out there. But I did receive quite a few comments of people being pretty discouraged that they just couldn't afford the cost of CBD oil, which I agree, it can be pretty pricey. So I wanted to get this Bach remedy for sleep video out as an affordable option for people to try and see if it works for them. Now, I have used quite a few other natural remedies that really didn't work out. I've tried all of the herbal teas for sleep. I also tried Valerian, and if you know anything about that, it's a very foul smelling and tasting herb. And the reason that I never bring up melatonin is simply because it has a really high incidence of people experiencing nightmares and hallucinations, and I already have a pretty lucid and vivid dream world that is always frequently bordering on nightmares, and I just didn't want to consume something that was only gonna enhance those experiences. So just as I was getting ready to shoot this video, an issue, the March 2019 issue of Consumer Reports came out, and I took a moment to read some of the information in that magazine, and they dedicated the month to improved sleep. And I just want to quickly share a few facts that I found interesting. And one was that millennials, this study was done solely on Americans, and it said that millennials were the highest group of individuals who are experiencing issues sleeping. And then second is the older population, or the baby boomers, I guess you'd call them. They're having sleep issues regarding like waking up in the middle of the night and not getting back to sleep. It was also interesting that women have the highest incident of insomnia, and men tend to have a high incident of sleep apnea, and that is when you stop breathing and you frequently wake yourself up in the middle of the night, and usually you're unaware of that. And so I have never gone and had a sleep study done. It's something that I am sort of interested in doing. I think in 2019, you can just wear like a harness that they send home, a monitor that you go to sleep and it records data. So it might be a little bit easier, but that is always another option for people. And so the article continues to say that 80% of Americans at least one time a week have difficulty sleeping, and that around 4 out of 10 individuals will toss and turn most of the night trying to get adequate sleep. And so basically, all of the research and the data is looking like lack of sleep is definitely an American epidemic. So I've set up a little display so I could just show you each Bach remedy here and kind of go over some of the details regarding them. And if you are unfamiliar with what Bach flower remedies are, there are actually 38 remedies that were created by Dr. Edward Bach. And I'm going to link his website, bachcenter.com. It is a fantastic website. It provides all of the information needed to understand what each remedy means and how to take them. And you can even download for free a couple of Dr. Bach's books, and it will go into detail of who he was and how he came about in creating the Bach remedy system. So highly recommend that. And if you've ever seen, I have another video I did on Bach remedy olive, which is for energy, and the 38 remedies come in little glass bottles like this, and it's liquid form with a dropper that you just dispense on your tongue. So to start, we'll start with the Rescue Sleep remedy here, and this is also in a glass bottle, and this is a spray, and this is 20 mLs or 0.7 fluid ounces, and this does contain 27% alcohol. And basically it states on the bottle that it is for relief from occasional sleeplessness caused by stress and repetitive thoughts. And the directions are to apply 2 sprays onto the tongue, and additional sprays may be taken during the night as needed. Foreshadowing there about the additional sprays. And this is currently available on Amazon for $13.67. So the second Rescue Sleep remedy here are the liquid melts. And there are 28 capsules in the box, and you'll see here they come in sheets of 14, and they are teeny tiny, and they're just encased in foil that you pop out. And this also states that it provides natural relief for occasional sleeplessness caused by stress and repetitive thoughts. And the directions are to place 1 capsule on tongue and let dissolve prior to retiring. And it also states additional capsules may be taken as needed. And this is currently available on Amazon for $7.67. So what is the difference between the capsules and the spray? So they both contain the same exact 6 Bach remedies. So basically what they've devised for you is they've taken 6 out of the 38 remedies that they believe are most useful and effective for assisting you with sleep issues. And so obviously if you don't want alcohol, you would avoid the spray since it has 27%. But the liquid melt contains a few inactive ingredients, and those are wax, coconut oil, gelatin, grapeseed oil, natural orange and vanilla flavoring, pectin, and sorbitol. And these, I guess, would not be vegan friendly because the gelatin is from a fish source. So the 6 ingredients that both contain the remedies are white chestnut, which is for relief from repetitive thoughts, rock rose, which is for courage and presence of mind, clematis, which is for focus when ungrounded, impatience, which is for patience with problems and people. I'll have a double. Cherry plum is for balanced mind when losing control. And lastly, Star of Bethlehem, which softens the impact of shock. So I've been using Bach remedies for over 2 years now, and I probably experimented with the sleep aids for about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. And although they're not marketed, in addition, I am going to include the Rescue Pastilles. they contain 5 of the same Bach remedies as both of these sleep aids. The 6th one that's missing out of these is the white chestnut for the repetitive thoughts. And the rescue pastilles are marketed for relief of occasional stress. So I'll eventually explain how I came about to also using these for sleep aid. So pastille really, since these are created in the UK, is probably a more common word that they use, but in the United States really just means hard candy. If you want to get fancy, lozenge, which sometimes you see defined on like cough drops, but really it's just a hard candy. And what's unique is they come in these little metal tins, and in order to open them, you press in the center, and they open, and there they are. Someone just dropped. These are the black currant flavor, very bejeweled. And then to close them, you put the lid and you squeeze the side. So very portable, just a little noisy, but so there are 50 milligrams or 1.7 ounces. There's 35 pastilles inside. And the best way that I could describe the texture is really like a gummy bear gone bad, really a stale gummy bear. I'll open one up here, put a few on my hand so you can see. These are the lemon ones. And they're not as hard as a hard candy. They're not as soft and chewy as a gummy. And they take about 5 minutes to dissolve on your tongue. And I would say there is a 5th one, which is unflavored, which was the very first one that I tried. So I have black currant, I have cranberry, lemon, and orange and elderflower flavor. And this is probably my favorite one. Again, it looks very, these are open, looks very similar, just a bit lighter in color to the lemon. And this is the cranberry. It's just a darker red than the black currant. They're all really good though. You can't go wrong if you do like fruity flavors with any of these. I guess if you don't like fruit, then get the unflavored. The unflavored is very nondescript, literally, hence it should be. These are right now $6.49 on Amazon. And basically the directions are you just dissolve 1 pastille in the mouth as required. And these have a lot of inactive ingredients, and as I started to review them, they're different for each flavor, but if you go on Amazon, they will list in the detailed list of all the ingredients, so I didn't want to waste time, so check out that for further information. So that about covers all of that. I will also put a reference to this book, which today is probably my favorite book. Like I said, I'll link bachcenter.com, which provides all the information that you could need. If you are on a limited budget, I would say save your resources to buy the products and read the literature online. But if you're really curious and you want to delve further, then the new Bach Flower Therapies, Healing in the Emotional and Spiritual Causes of Illness by Dietmar Krämer is exceptional. Okay, so the results. So as always, I try to be as scientific as possible, and when I'm trying something new, I'll always record the date and the time and the amount, and then I'll also make any notations of the effects, so then over 1 or 2 months I have something to look back and reference on. So I started with the liquid melts first. And as always, I'll initially follow their instructions of how to use it. And in this case, it says just take 1 liquid melt, put it on your tongue, and let it dissolve right before you're going to sleep. So the effects of that were probably the equivalent of taking a Tic Tac or a Lifesaver. I had no results. So I quickly, after that, started to consume 2 of the liquid melts, and that was definitely immediately much more effective. And on average, probably within 10 to 20 minutes, I would fall asleep. And that was great. However, I didn't stay asleep, and usually within 2 to 3 hours, I was awake again. And what I started doing was taking a third and letting that dissolve in my tongue, and then I would be able to fall back asleep. And one of the tricky things about Bach Remedies, and I think I noted this on the packaging, it says take more as needed. So I suppose I could have taken many, many more, but that kind of defeats the purpose of seeing if it is effective. And again, these don't have any side effects, so it's not dangerous if you end up taking like 5 or 6 in a night. So then after experiencing that, I moved on to using the spray. And I didn't have as consistent results when I used the Sleep Rescue spray. And I don't know if it has anything to do, the differences between the two. The liquid melts is that the spray does have alcohol, as I mentioned. I don't know if that was having an effect on me. I do sort of have a negative association with any sprays, because as a child I used to get strep throat every winter, and I would use that cherry chloroseptic spray that numbs your throat, which I hate. And so I just don't like a spray in general, but it seemed that I had to use several sprays. 2 is never enough, and I think I would get as high as like 6 or 8 sprays. So I just didn't enjoy that, and I didn't find it to be as consistently effective. Sometimes I could fall asleep with it, with the spray, and sometimes I wouldn't. So I went back and purchased, when I went through the liquid melts, I purchased a second batch just because I wanted to give it like 2 to 3 months to see if it was indeed truly effective. And how I came about trying the Rescue Pastilles is that one night I had taken my last 2 liquid melts, and I had woken up. And to get back to sleep, I got thinking, well, these are for stress reduction, and I'm very stressed that I can't get sleep, and I want to go to sleep. And it has 5 of the 6 ingredients of the Sleep Rescue Remedy, so I'm going to try that. And lo and behold, it worked. And it worked really fast, so be careful, because you could still have it in your mouth and start to fall asleep. So what I then began to experiment was I wouldn't take the liquid melts, I would just take the stress pastilles before bed, and I was starting, it would be as effective as the sleep remedy, and I would be able to go to sleep. So I recently just tried the sleep melts again and again. Within 10 to 20 minutes I fell asleep, and I also used the Rescue Pastilles because just it had been a few months that I had taken them, and then in between I tried the CBD oil. So I do like to test even my own results after a time to see if they're effective, and I have to say they are effective. I think they're very true to their word. As I read off the box, it says that it provides natural relief of occasional sleeplessness caused by stress and repetitive thoughts. And if you are somebody, like I talked about in the Consumer Reports article, of people at least one time a week having difficulty going to sleep, then I think definitely try Bach Rescue Remedies. But I think someone like me, I'm not really occasional. It's been long-standing. I would define myself as having chronic sleep issues. And so in that case, just because I did have positive results, I would say if you can afford it, try CBD oil if this doesn't give you the desired results. But it's definitely affordable and accessible for everybody, and definitely give it a shot. I am looking forward to hearing what your experience is and your comments and what you liked or disliked about it. You can also go on Amazon and read a lot of reviews about the product, and I'll tell you, it's split right down the line, 50-50. And you know, I've helped people in the past with natural supplements with issues that they have, and 9 out of 10 times it is effective for them. And but sometimes people are a little bit sheepish and kind of laugh and feel awkward and say, oh, I don't know if it's a placebo effect. And I'm never offended, and I say, well, if you're experiencing relief or you're feeling better, like, who cares if it's the placebo effect? Don't worry about somebody's other judgment who says, you're wasting your money, it's a sugar pill. You know, try it. It's a natural remedy, and you need sleep, and we all want to have less stress in our life. And believe me, lack of sleep causes stress. I'd say, you know, it gets insane, and you want to be a happy, functioning human and accomplishing what you want to do every day. So you need sleep. So, you know, I say do whatever it takes to find a solution. So there you have it. And as always, I'm wishing everybody great health and all the best. And I will see you in my next video.
If we stay together, we will be